Mind the gap.
London was extremely busy at the time. About 1850, you had about 2.5 million people living in the city, another 250,000 people coming in and out, usually using horse or carts or both to try and get into the city. There were overground trains, but as far as a linking system to connect within the city itself, roughly it was proposed 1845. By 1854 it had been approved. Construction began in the spring of 1860, and it was all ready by the 9th of January 1863 that they were able to have the opening ceremony, with the next day being open to the public.
A major part of their life. Without the underground, 90% of the people won't be able to go to work in London. It just covers such a vast area, hundreds of miles of track.
I would never dream of coming up by car because it's so much easier coming by underground, and you know how quick it's going to be, whereas if you come by car it's going to take you ages, stopping at traffic lights and heaven knows what else, and then finding somewhere to park. It's easy on the underground.
我觉得伦敦地铁票价实在是太贵了，特别是对我们留学生来说，我们生活费本来就不多，然后票价又这么高，然后还有一个很大的问题就是它会经常 delay， 还有罢工，特别是 Boxing Day 这样重要的节日，它也会让我们没有办法出门。
Mind the gap.
So this is 1908. Now this design we've kept, which is Frank Pick, and he decided that the capital U and the capital D was probably the most visually appealing as far as the sign. By 1913, you have the expansion and maybe just a bit more of what's going on above ground, so it might be even more difficult to read. 1932. So Beck's map had already been seen by the Underground in 31, but it was rejected actually. So you got rid of what's going on above ground, but you keep the route the tracks are actually taking. And that makes it maybe a little bit difficult to read because the stations are also accurate as far as, the distance between them. So it's not really that clear of a map. This was one of the original designs. So originally rejected 31, but brought back in 1933. All other maps were taken off, taken out of the stations. You would only find this one. Although it was another gentleman for the Underground who was kind of taking control of this, and he sadly sold off all rights in 1933. So it wasn't until 2001 that Beck was finally getting acknowledged for his design, which we still use today, and which is the blueprint for really most other maps on the underground system.
And what I've learned from this is fantastic. You just don't believe that this type of work has gone on over the years.
And what they were able to accomplish at that time with the tools that they had, it is something that it's still running today. It's understandable when it has its issues, as frustrating as it is, and even if it slows us all down. So very much impressed and excited. It's 150 years because it's the father of them all. So although I do get frustrated with it.
Mind the gap.